Dave the Garden Guy, getting kids out in his elements. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Tess, to you. Hey, listen, we're at Desert Palms Elementary. First off, they want to tell us something. Go ahead, guys. Well, I hope you all heard that. They said good morning, Arizona. But we're out here at Desert Palms, and what we're doing is we're talking a little bit about their raised beds. In fact, take a look at these raised beds. And I'm with Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Rupert. Ms. Smith, tell us a little bit about these raised beds and how you got them here.
Actually, we were awarded this by a grant from the Western Garden Association, which provided the materials, the seeds, the irrigation facility for us, and then we had a high school team came and built the beds for us.
Oh, that's great. Okay, and this is just a little bit of a tease here, folks, but when we get back, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what exactly is happening in this garden and what we're going to go ahead and put in. We'll be right back. Take a look at these raised beds in here. We showed you earlier. These are about 2 foot tall, about 4 foot wide, and about 8 foot long. Excellent way to garden out here in the desert Southwest. And these raised beds were, well, basically gotten from a grant. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Ms. Smith?
We received a grant from the Western Gardens Association, and they gave us the materials to buy the soil, the irrigation, the seeds, and to put up the beds. And then we also attended a 8-hour training session on how to grow them.
And you can see they've done a great job with these guys. These are north-south facing type gardens. And like I said, they're about 8 foot long and about 4 foot wide. And I'm with Mrs. Rupert. Miss Rupert, what do they learn from doing something like this?
Well, we're so excited because the children get to take science and apply it in the real world application. And so we get to take the seeds, we plant them, they get to see them from the seeds. They get to grow them. Then when they're ready to harvest, we get to harvest them and we share them with the community. So they're very excited to see the whole process of seeds to plants, and then we share them with everybody.
And I got them working in a little bit of soil amendments right now. We've got a lot of rock dust in there, some lava sand, extreme granules, and of course, lots of different types of plants. And you can take a look at what you've got here, but we've got all kinds of herbs in here, some lettuces, kale, which is an important element to keeping up with your health, and of course a lot of different types of seeds. And you see these guys, there's a lot of different types of seeds that work out well with the kids themselves. Larkspur, turnips, carrots. These are a short type of carrot. In fact, they almost look like radishes. They're excellent, and they hold up very well out here in the desert Southwest because of the fact they grow very fast in our short seasons. Of course, we've got a lot of different types of flowers. These are an important component to gardening. I talk about it all the time. We need to lend to our biodiversity, which attracts a lot of beneficial insects, which help eliminate a lot of those pesticides, especially around Sherland. And then we talk about some different herbs. There's some lemongrass in here. There's a lot of different types of parsley. And last but not least, our asparagus. Asparagus is a very important element out here. It does very well in these raised beds, and it lasts up to 25 years. So it's real important to get a lot of that stuff in right now, especially with our, well, coming cooler temperatures like we talked about right now, and you'll have a great garden all winter long. But I'll tell you what, you talk about work, Scott, try working with all these kids gardening out here. I dare you to do this next time. I don't know how you get that job, but I end up with this one, but I know who has the better one.
I don't think I can do it, but Dave, you're the man for that job.
I got to show off my helpers here. Take a look at these guys. These guys are going at it. We're putting together some garden beds this morning. You take a look at these. These are those raised beds I talk about so often that work so well out here in the desert Southwest. Planting a lot of different types of plant material with Miss Smith again. Miss Smith, well, what do you think so far, girl?
Oh, it's been wonderful. The kids are so excited, and what I really like is I had former students come in remembering what they did in kindergarten.
And they've been doing this for a while, haven't they?
Yes, we've been doing this for about 8 years.
Okay, and Mrs. Rupert? Yeah, I noticed you've been helping out over there with some of the different types of Chinese cabbage.
I have.
What have you been learning here?
We've been learning lots of things, the way herbs grow. You did a great job of teaching us how to plant them correctly so they'll harvest good. Our children love to come out here and see how they grow, and then they understand the process of the food that they actually get in the grocery store.
And that's one thing they forget about, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. They just think Mom goes and it just shows up at the grocery store, and so they get to see exactly how it starts and then how it ends up in our grocery stores. So that's the phenomenal part of the science that we get to put into our curriculum and add into it.
Perfect. Now let's talk a little bit about that science. In fact, I want to show you some things that are an important component when you're gardening out here in the desert Southwest. First off, about 6 inches of compost, about 12 inches deep into the soil itself. And again, let me just get you to move just for a second, honey, and then let me show you some of the different types of amendments. One is bone meal. Bone meal is an important component. Now you notice I got it lined up with some carrots and radishes. Both of them are perfect for teaching kids out here how to grow, but bone meal works out great when you're actually putting in root vegetables. And root vegetables are really determined by how much phosphorus in the soil. So I say in the soil, it's got to be worked in the soil. Can't sprinkle it on top and hope it gets down the root zone. So we've been mixing a lot of bone meal in there. Second off, a lot of blood meal. In fact, blood meal is crucial. And there's blood meal right here. You can see it. Lined up with some mustard greens, arugula, there's different types of lettuces, Swiss chard, and of course spinach. These are all those leafy vegetables that are so important out here in the desert Southwest. And to grow them right now, well, you're going to have great results all winter long. So putting that stuff in right now is going to be the ideal situation because things are starting to cool off. Let's come over here and let's take a look at what the kids have done. These beds are about 2 foot high. They're north-south exposure, lots of flowers. You can see they're working in a lot of different types of amendments, including that rock dust we so often talk about, and they just love to do it, of course. Now, lots of water is going to be the crucial component, regular fertilization after this, and last but not least, I want to show you our hoop system right over here. You can see this. Now, this hoop system basically is going to be a hoop system, PVC. There's some rebar on both sides. And then we're going to go ahead and stretch this 6 mil plastic over the top of it when it starts getting cold. That way we can elongate our seasons. By elongating our seasons, we want to elongate for our tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, all those important components if you've got them planted right now to get those seasons a little bit longer. That way you go ahead and have some tasty tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers later on this season. Tess, Javier, how you guys doing over there?
I see a
Love
future
it.
Dave the Garden Guy in there somewhere. What do you think?
There's a lot of future Dave the Garden girls and Dave the Garden guys out there. Hey guys, you all want to say a big shout out there? There you go. Okay, so you need to go ahead and keep in mind, you got to put that stuff in right now. In fact, the next 2 to 3 weeks is going to be the crucial area for really getting great gardens here in the winter and on into the spring.
I can't wait
Javier,
to
Tess?
see what they get there. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, it is going to be awesome. It's going to be a great-looking garden. We've got lots of herbs out here, lots of leafy vegetables. Of course, a lot of flowers. Those are companion plants. And, of course, last but not least, lots of fun.
And no weeds.
No weeds. You don't have to worry about it, Javier. You don't have to come out here and help me out. There you go.
All right,
Back to
Dave.
you guys.
Dave.
Make sure they all wash their hands afterwards. You know how we
Oh,
sanitize
no problem,
and clean.
Tess. I knew the mother was going to come out of you.
Love it. Thanks, Dave.